As you guys know, Madam Web actually dropped a few days ago, and I had the liberty of watching it with my friends, and it's really rough. Madam Web is easily the worst thing I've ever reviewed on this channel so far, and I doubt I'll come across anything worse than it this year. It feels like an empty in every possible way. There is no life in this film at all. It's like beating a dead cow. It's just a bloody mess. Unlike Morbius, which at least was kind of entertainingly bad, this is an absolutely bad low for Sony. There is nothing renewable about this movie. My hopes were low going in, but coming out that theater, bro, pretty rough. I honestly felt so depressed. It's obvious that nobody cared during the making of this film. The acting is fucking awful at some points, especially in the later half of the film. I think that's when they realized this movie's gonna suck. Nobody's gonna watch it, so why even try at that point? That's what I think happened during the later half of this movie. They just stopped caring. They stopped trying and they stopped, actually participating in reading they start reading straight from the script, bro. No enthusiasm. They didn't even put their own, swing on the script. They just read straight from what was on the paper. And you can tell by a lot of the line deliveries that they were not really being able to work around their lines and add a little bit of enthusiasm to the movie. It felt like they were reading straight off the script what was said in that tone that you would expect when you read straight from something. Like the same tone that you would get when you're reading a book. Most of the time, I didn't even feel like I cared about anything that was happening. I was just sitting there thinking, how did this movie even get made? The fact that the writers of Morbius still have a job is one of the most ridiculous things ever. Like one of the most boring movies of all time. Morbius. They wrote that and they still got another job with Sony. Like that's crazy to me. This movie is like imagine a superhero film but without any of that. Just a lot of talking. Just a lot of scenes of people talking to each other. And any other time, I'd be cool with people talking if the interactions didn't feel forced. I feel like everybody, when they were talking, it felt like they were forced to talk to each other. It felt like these characters were forced to be together. It felt like the script forced them to say certain things. And it's just like, man, it feels there's any lack of character. And the actors don't help at all. They felt like absolute robots, zombies, NPCs when delivering these lines. No emotion, no happiness, no nothing when recording this movie. There's a scene pretty early on where the mom of Madam Web is talking to the main villain. And they find this rare spider, which, to their knowledge, can cure any disease on the planet and give you superpowers. And her reaction is literally, guys, look, I found it. Just like how I delivered it just now. No enthusiasm. No care in the world. No hype for finding this rare spider that can cure all sickness. Just, yay, we found it. It feels so fake. It feels like they're just reciting lines off of paper. And when they finally find this rare life-changing discovery, which they hype up for the first 2.5 minutes of the movie, they just don't care. No care in the world was put into this film. The whole movie just is bland, lacks any substance. None of the characters evoke any emotion. They're just boring, or they're just there to move the plot along. It's just an honest disappointment from beginning to end. But that's not even the half of it. Let's get into the story or lack thereof, because Madam Web is kind of in the name. It's just a bunch of plot points on a web that just happen because they need to keep progressing. More sell. We got to keep putting stuff. We have no clue what this movie is. Madam Web is giving the task, right? She's supposed to be protecting these 3 future spider-powered individuals. And they're about as interesting as watching paint dry, watching your dog get killed, watching your little sister fall off the roof. There's no depth to them. Just bland characters with no real backstory to speak of. And now we talk about one of the biggest problems with this film for me. Ezekiel, the villain of the story, the big bad, is so bland, uninspiring, and boring. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to throw too much shade on the actors, because it's not 100% their fault. They have to work with what they were given. And the script did not do Ezekiel any favors at all as a character. He has no real backstory besides a one-off line where they're like, oh, well, when I was a kid, nobody helped me, so I gotta steal the spider powers. Never brought up later. Never deeper, no deeper dive, no nothing. The only motivation that he has in this movie is that he's dreaming about the spider people killing him. So his thought process, I gotta kill them first. Okay, that makes sense. I like that. That's cool, whatever. He's having nightmares of these people that are coming from the future. He's gonna go kill them. But this man Ezekiel is so incompetent at his job. He can barely kill 3 teenage girls right. This is the big bad we're supposed to be scared of? The guy that can't dispatch 3 teenagers and a paramedic? Come on, bro. He has Spider-Man's powers and can't handle a paramedic and 3 teenagers. But that's the guy that we're supposed to be the big bad. That guy. It's so hard to care about any of these characters. It's just so awful because they all suck. Madam Web herself is the most baffling character on this movie, and she's the character that the whole movie's based around. It's baffling how little she seems to care about her job and objective of protecting these 3 girls. She comes across as annoyed, dismissive, and tries to send them back home to their parents. Let's not forget, by the way, Madam Web is a EMT, a paramedic. A paramedic is treating people that need help without help. She does not want to help these people. Imagine how she treats her patients. This is our character supposed to be rooting for, by the way. The guy doesn't even want to help 3 teenage girls who are about to be murdered. You send them home to their parents. Yeah, bro, let's send these kids home to their parents. There's a villain with superpowers chasing them, but I'm going to send them home to their parents. So their parents can, I guess, spray raid on him. Or, kick him in the shins. Yeah, that's smart. It's so just odd. The actress does her best, I guess, to make up for the lackluster movie all around. But the script just lets her down like it does the villain and everybody else. Her big plan for keeping the girls safe, absolutely awful. The 3 girls are no different than any other MacGuffin in a movie. I mean, at least you get to see the MacGuffin. The MacGuffin has a personality, but at the end of the day, they're just something that's there to keep the plot moving. They're just an objective, something that is there. They have very minor differences, at best. One of them's a nerd, one of them isn't. Oh, okay, that's cool. You could literally take all 3 of the girls and replace it with a cube, and we would have gotten the exact same movie. It would have been the exact same. You could swap them with literally anything. It's just that bad. And Ezekiel, as a villain, he's about as threatening as a wet noodle. Aside from chasing after the girls, he doesn't do much of anything. He's just another cutout, cardboard, lame villain with no depth or reason for his actions. So in summary, Madam Web is like Morbius. Without any of the meme ability, it's a dull, forgettable mess that fails to deliver on every single possible level. If you're watching this movie, you're watching because you hate yourself. Just not even shocked though. Sony can barely do anything right except for one good Venom movie and a bunch of movies that they've been holding on in the Amazing Spider-Man and the Spider-Man trilogies for years. They can't do anything besides Spider-Verse. Like, everything else that they release is mid, awful, garbage. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm just so done with these blockbuster superhero films. This regurgitated garbage that they keep reselling to us every single year. It's starting to get annoying. Please, can somebody in Hollywood tell these people, we are tired of watching these trash movies. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.